Hi everyone, my name is Helen and welcome to my channel Amateur Hour. Today I was going to repot my Alocasia Dragon Scale, and I thought that I would share it with you guys. I'm going to be repotting this into Lechuza Pon because I have a little toddler running around the house and I don't have time to be watering all my plants pretty much every day. So the reason I'm converting my Alocasia into Lechuza Pon is because there are so many benefits I feel in using Lechuza Pon, but there's not a lot of information out there. So I'm going to be repotting this into the Lechuza Pon and we'll see what happens together. Maybe it'll die, maybe it won't. Let me get a tray. Okay, I got a tray. So you can see that it's not doing so hot. Yeah, that's probably due to underwatering, overwatering. Because like I said, I have a little toddler and he is 21 months and he's just running around. He has so much energy, it's just hard to keep up. So I probably have about 80 or so houseplants, not even talking about the ones that are on the terrace. So I don't really have time to be going around and watering everything. Basically, in my climate, basically every other day. And with a toddler, that's almost impossible. So that's why I'm trying to convert most of my collection into Lechuza Pon. I haven't been using Lechuza Pon for that long. I've converted a couple of my plants already to Lechuza Pon, and I mean, so far they're doing okay. Mainly I have converted my calathea because I mean, I've seen that, I've heard that they do pretty well. But we'll just see. I mean, some leaves are drying up, some are doing okay. I mean, there's some new leaves coming out, so maybe it's working. Not sure. But I thought that since there isn't much information out there, I would make a video and see, you know, we can all see together how it is. We'll go on this journey together. So right now I'm just breaking off the plant is a little bit dry, which makes it a little bit easier to break off all of the soil, but you don't want it bone dry because then your roots are gonna be pretty fragile. It looks like it's a little bit root bound, so we'll see how it goes. I don't know. So while I'm getting this root off, I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about myself and I guess my purpose for making this channel. My family and I moved to Barcelona, Spain about a year ago, a little bit over a year ago, and after we moved in, they're really big on houseplants here. I mean, I was starting to get into houseplants where I lived before, which was New York. But I was a little bit afraid because the winters can get really cold and we didn't have much sun in our house. So, I mean, here is like perfect. It's super sunny. It doesn't get too cold. I mean, it gets super hot here. But you just water more. I mean, they get more sun. They love it. It just requires a lot more attention because, like I said, you basically have to water every other day in the summer. So I'm gonna take my pruners and prune off all the sad looking dead leaves because nobody wants that. Nobody wants to see that. And hopefully not do too much damage to the roots as I'm getting this soil off. So as I said, we moved to Barcelona, Spain, and I don't really know how to speak much Spanish, or as they call here, Castellano. And so I've been trying to find like a community of English speaking moms to hang out with, but I feel like I just need some adult interaction. So I find myself talking to my friends, and being that I really only talk to my son Lucas, I feel like I'm becoming socially awkward. Like some of the things that come out of my mouth, I'm just like, why did I say that? Was I always this awkward? I don't know, maybe I was. But I was never so conscious about it if I was that awkward. But I mean, I had no trouble making friends. Anyway, I feel like my grammar is totally slipping. Pretty soon I'm not gonna be able to communicate at all. I'm gonna be broken Spanish, broken English. I'm gonna be basically speaking baby language to everyone. So I'm just gonna be, it's a little bit wet inside, so it's a little bit difficult to get the soil out. Plus with this ring of roots, it's like super difficult to get the soil out without messing up some of the roots. Look, there's a little corm here. I'll show you. So I think I'm going to take the corms out and try to propagate them just in case it doesn't make it. Because with the corms, I'm going to put them in, I think I'll do some of them straight into the Lechuza Pon, and some of them in like a little water puddle to see which one will root first. And hopefully I'll get more plants that way. I know you guys are probably seeing that I have 2 new leaves coming out. See, there's one right there and one right here. So I probably shouldn't be repotting this right now, but it's really like not doing so hot, and the texture of this soil is not the best. Like, it retains so much water. So as an amateur collector of houseplants, I do have like loads of questions to make sure, like when you're beginning collecting houseplants, you don't know if what you're doing is right. Like, your leaves turn a certain color and you're like, oh my god, I did something wrong, I'm gonna kill it. So usually I tend to post on Reddit to ask people whether I'm doing it wrong or doing it right, but there's only so much that you can get off of, you know, single photo picture. Nobody really knows what's happening. Nobody knows the process. Nobody knows what the plant has gone through. So I'm hoping that with this video, with these videos that I'm going to post, you can see what I've done, what mistakes I've made, what works and what doesn't work, and hopefully we can all learn from the process together. Because like I said, there's not much information about Lechuza Pon out there, and if you're an amateur like myself, I think it'd be nice to have someone who's already been through the process or are going through the process. You can see the whole journey and learn from, you know, what to do, what not to do, and not have to risk your own plants. I like to tap it like this just to get, like, really get those particles out. Really get those particles out. I hate it that my local gardening center uses like, can you see inside? Those plugs. It's so hard to get all of it out, and it just like suffocates the roots. Like, I'm sure it's good to, you know, get your seedlings growing with that, but as like a consumer, it just sucks because it makes repotting, which is not my favorite thing to do, by the way, it just makes it so much harder. Like, why? Why do I have to struggle with trying to get these out and not destroy the roots in the process? Like, basically, all the roots are growing out of this thing. So if I damage the roots trying to rip it off, I'll basically be killing like a whole line of roots. Why can't they just pot it in a regular pot like everyone else? I don't know. That's just me. It's funny, the soil inside the plug is better. It's actually got perlite in it compared to the soil that was potted on the outside. And I've heard that if you pot your plant into two different like mediums, it doesn't do well. So I don't know. I also wanted to mention, since I'm learning, because I'm an amateur, and I'm sure there are other amateurs watching, if there are any professionals out there watching, can you just like leave a comment on what I'm doing wrong so that everyone can learn and I can learn? Because I don't want to kill my plants either. So if there's something that I'm doing wrong, please let me know, and I'll share with everyone else in my next video so that we don't all make the same mistakes. I know I got the tray so I don't make a mess, but the tray is containing nothing. It's still going everywhere. This is not a clean process. It is a messy, messy process. So I would suggest maybe taking it outside. Do it where you don't have to clean up everything. I don't have a garden, so I can't do it in there. And in my opinion, if I repotted out of my terrace, the cleanup would be worse because the wind would just blow the soil everywhere. And if it goes into the drain, it might clog up my drain, and then I'll have to call the super to unclog the drain. So for me, I think doing it indoors is better. But if you have a garden, do it in your garden, then you don't have to clean anything up. The soil could just go straight into your garden. I feel like I'm messing up a lot of these roots just due to this ring of roots here. Like, I'm trying to kind of untangle it. I know I read, or so the doorbell rang and I totally lost my train of thought. What was I saying? I think I was talking about, I have no idea. Anyway, the information that I find out there says that you don't have to take off all the soil, as opposed to if you're replanting into leca. But I kind of like to get it all out. I don't know, that's just me. Maybe you like it too, or maybe you can't be bothered. But I think that's one of the good things about Lechuza Pon. And I decided to choose Pon as my medium instead of leca because Pon has a built-in fertilizer, so I don't have to worry about fertilizing it either. Obviously after 6 months, supposedly you have to start fertilizing it again, but I don't know, I kind of like the look of the Pon better too, better than leca. And you don't have to get out all the soil, so that's why I chose it. I'm hoping that when I convert all of my plants to Pon, that, I'm hoping that my husband can probably take over, well, help me water some of my plants. I just tell him, you know, the reservoir's empty, just fill it up. I mean, easy peasy. I mean, I've asked him to water my plants a couple times, and bless his heart, he does such a good job. He tries so hard, but I mean, he's busy. He doesn't know about plants, so he tries his hardest to help. But sometimes I do find the occasional plants sitting in water for God knows how long. And then he feels terrible. So with this method, you know, he can help without feeling like stressed out that he's possibly killing off my plants without meaning to. And I don't know, maybe I'll get my little Lucas involved too. Just have him fill up the little reservoir when it's empty. It can be a whole learning process, you know, chores and helping out mama. Okay, so I think I've gotten most of the soil out, and I just want to kind of work this ring a little bit more to try to untangle these roots. I mean, the roots look really healthy despite the fact that the leaves look horrendous. So I'm hoping that it converts to Pon fairly well. I'm looking at it. It looks like I have three corms. Okay, so I mean, it's not really breaking off the corms, so maybe I will just leave it. Okay, I'm gonna go rinse this off to get off the rest of the soil with my hose, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I cleaned off my tray, got my plant here. I've pretty much blasted off as much of the soil as I could. So my battery died and I had to charge it real quick. So let me get this done before it dies again. I'm gonna pot it into this pot. I got this like plastic pot with these like small drainage holes so that the water can get in and out, but not too big so the pond comes out. So let me just get this potted up. I guess I should put a little bit on the bottom first. I didn't rinse off the pond like I know a lot of other people do, because what I'll do is I'll just pot it up and then I'll just flush the whole thing. So you get your plant watered and also flush out all the nasty sand. So while I was waiting for my camera to charge, I just like basically had a snack attack. I did not stop eating the whole time while I was waiting. Do you guys ever do that? Just like all of a sudden just starving and cannot stop eating? Well, that's what happened. So it's pretty easy to repot compared to soil, in my opinion. Like, I hate repotting in soil. I mean, I guess this plant is also super easy because you just have like one little thing in the middle. You don't have to like one of the things I hate repotting is flowers, like especially the bushy ones. Like, I love them because they're beautiful, obviously, but I just hate repotting them. Just like, I'll put them in and then I'll start like trying to get the soil all around, but like as I'm trying to lift the foliage and like get the soil in, it starts like tilting up, and then I end up with a plant that's like a whole inch higher than what I intended it to, where I intended it to be. It's just, it's so hard. Okay, that's it. So that's it potted up. Doesn't it look so pretty? Obviously I'm going to flush it out. So I'm gonna take the plastic pot out. I'm gonna run water through it so that I get all the nastiness off of the pond. And then what I'll do is every other day or so, I'll come and check on it. And I know it's a lot of work now. Like, I know I said I was gonna repot to the pond, so I don't have to check on it so often because I'm gonna have the water reservoir on the bottom. But in the beginning, you have to acclimate the plant to semi-hydroponic. So what I'll do is I'll come check on the pond. The top will look like kind of lighter than it is now. Like, this is what it looks like when it's wet. I don't know if it'll focus. Focus. Oh. Focus. Well, it's not focusing. Oh, there you go. So that's what it looks like when it's wet. And then when it's dry, it'll look like chalkier, I guess. It'll be lighter in color. You'll be able to tell. So then what I'll do is I'll kind of flush it again, or I'll keep water running through it every time I see that the top is dry. And according to the pond website, you're supposed, or when you buy the pond, it tells you to do it for 12 weeks. But I don't know. I haven't used pond for that long, so we'll see. Right now, all I've been doing is just flushing all my pond plants every time the top gets dry. Some of the ones that I have in Lechuza pots, since they do have the water reservoir, I have been letting it have a little bit of a reservoir, just so I know that it's not completely going bone dry. But for something like this, something that's custom, I would just flush it, and then the water that collects on the bottom, I'll just dump it out. And I'll probably do that for about at least a month, just so I'm like they might have water roots, and then we'll see how it goes. That's it for my video. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to follow along and keep updated with, you know, my plants and all my other experiments, please subscribe. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye. I ended my video, but I wanted to add, if there are any professionals out there, I have this plant, my Alocasia fried. I love this plant. It's so beautiful with the white veins and everything, but it's just like so droopy. It's so droopy. And I know I live in a hot climate, and the soil gets really dry, but I checked with my water meter, right? My water meter, and I'll stick it in, and it says that the moisture is 4. And that should be, I don't wanna keep watering it and drown it, you know, because I love this plant so much. Is it normal for these plants to be like so droopy? I love these ones that are erect. Yeah, I said erect on my channel. But like all these droopy ones are just kind of making it look sad. So if anybody can help, give me some suggestions on what I can do to make this less droopy, make it happier, just please leave a comment down below. This plant is still in soil. I think I will convert it to pon at some point. And if you take a closer look, you can see that there's like four plants in there. So I might separate them. I mean, I might not, to make it look fuller. I don't know. But stay tuned, and please help me out, please. Bye.